Head to toe assessment, final exam. I first start, this is the ENT exam. I first start with washing my hands for 20 seconds. I don my gloves. I introduce myself to the patient. I say that I'm Mr. Mafi. I'm going to continue doing your head to toe. I'm going to start your head to toe examination. And I provide privacy to the patient. I close the door. I start with the neurological assessment. I observe for the mood. I notice that the patient is in a positive mood, states that they're feeling well, happy, adjusted. The patient seems adjusted, does not complain of any distress at the moment. I assess the level of consciousness. The patient is conscious, coherent, alert. Patient is oriented times three to person, place, and time. I find this out through asking questions of to them. I also checked their thought process. They seem to understand questions well when asked. I asked them to recall certain things, and they recall well on questioning. Next, I go to the cranium and the hair. I palpate the cranium. I start from the frontal bone, and I go from the vertex, from the top, with thumbs and fingertips, and I go across sagittally. Sagittally, I note for irregularities and asymmetry and any hard or softness. I notice that there's none of these. There's no depressions. I crisscross the head and notice that the head is smooth and there's no bumps or deformities. I reach the bregma where the sagittal meets the coronal, and I assessed. I palpate. I palpate throughout the head, from the frontal to the parietals on the sides to the occipital to the back, and to the lambda. I then assess the hair, and I noticed that the hair was smooth, silky. It had a normal full distribution. There was no alopecia, no no coarseness of the hair. It wasn't dry. It was moist enough. I then go to the head and face. I assess the facial symmetry. The face was symmetrical. The I asked the client to smile, puff out the cheeks, and close the eyes. The patient was able to follow my directions. There was no Bell's palsy, no drooping of one side of the face. All the cranial nerves seemed to be intact because the patient was able to move the face properly. I palpate the frontal and maxillary sinuses and notice that there's no bulging of the sinuses. The frontal is in the forehead, and the maxillary is on the face, on the cheeks, and patient has no nasal drainage, no sinusitis, no respiratory distress. I noticed that the patient had no facial edema, nor of the periorbital region near the eyes. I then go to the eyes and notice that the eyes are symmetrical. They are brown, and the irises are brown. The pupils are black and are symmetrical. The pupil size is about 2 to 4, about 2 millimeters in diameter. They constrict to direct light, and the illumination goes to the opposite eye, which is consensual. And then when the light is moved away in the dark, the eye dilates. I I noticed that the scleras are white, the palpebral